What's good, people? This is episode 208, I think. This guy looks like Gage Worsley. I don't know. And I didn't put any background on him. Maybe we'll put some pictures or something.
It's all good.
But it doesn't matter none, right? The episode starts right now. This is episode 208 of the Option Podcast. And for those of you that have been living under a rock, this is one of the co-founders of Out of System Volleyball. And I remember a few years ago, I said, you are three bad. I was like, and the first time I actually got to talk to you was you guys were running drills with Jacob and Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your brother was setting, and you and Micah were just coming in and out and hitting, just constantly hitting. It was like this barrage of attacks where they had to defend, and I thought that was really cool. And I think you guys are really cool. So let me skip through the nonsense and allow my guests to talk for a change. How did the Out of System come up with? Who came up with the idea?
Yeah. It's a longer story. I'll try and make a long story short here. Basically,
it's a long form podcast, dude. Let's
perfect.
go.
All right. So what happened was I was at University of Hawaii. My brother played with me at University of Hawaii for 2 years, 16-month difference. So it's like a 2-year split in terms of like freshman and sophomore in terms of class. COVID hits about, when did COVID hit? Like 2020? 2020.
Ruined everybody's life.
Yeah, 2020. This is when Joe was in his first year overseas. It was my junior year of college at Hawaii. So, bam, we play BYU, number 1 and 2, back-to-back nights. We get smacked the first night. And we're supposed to be the 1 and they're 2, and they smacked us. Second night, we go, and we had probably one of the craziest games ever in the Stan Sheriff Center. We won like 17-19 in the fifth. Come back we reverse sweep them. Unbelievable night.
That was great.
Great night of my life.
Yeah.
2 days later, COVID hits. Like, bam, canceled.
Everyone shut
down.
Get off the plane.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But we were in Northridge.
Yeah, tell me where you were. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was in Hawaii to Northridge, and then all of a sudden, we're getting these rumblings. And we were supposed to, in Northridge, let's just say it's a Thursday. Wednesday night we get there. Thursday we're supposed to practice. Friday we play, Saturday we play. So Wednesday we get there at night, and it's like, okay, here's some rumblings. Or Thursday we get there at night, we hear some rumblings. The next day you're like, okay, gonna go practice. But then on the TV, bigger rumblings, bigger stuff. Bam, NCAA, this league is quit. This league is canceled. This sport is canceled. This sport is canceled. Big Ten is doing this. This is, and we're just like watching it. Literally at the hotel at TV, we're all on one TV, and we see everything get canceled, and we're just waiting. We're like, oh my gosh, we're supposed to go to practice in like an hour.
Yeah.
But we're all just like sitting there. We're like, oh my gosh, boom, boom, boom. We have our initial meeting with Charlie Waiter, coach, and he's like, there's a chance we're gonna get cut here. We go back to our rooms. 30 minutes later, another meeting. He's like, come here, and bam, done. Season over. COVID hits. Our season has to be over. We have to go shoot back to Hawaii the next day, and like there's mandatory stuff that we had to do, like starting to do. The rules got even stricter. But long story short with that is my brother, and same thing happened to him in Germany because he was in Germany at the time. And then we're just sitting there, me, my best friend Max, who's like me, very like spitball, just like off the walls, like funny kind of guy, witty guy, great guy. And Joe we have a group chat, and Joe just texts me like 2 weeks into COVID, because we're just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks into COVID, he's like, hey, we should start a podcast. And I'm like, because like people said they want to hear us talk just because we're idiots, not because like, oh, I want to hear some useful information from these guys. but then so we end up doing this, and we're like, sure, let's do it. We start out with Zoom. We start with a Zoom podcast every single day of it. It was an absolute. I'm sure. Can I swear on here? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can.
It was an absolute show. Let me tell you. And we would just go in, and for me, I was always pushing for more raunchy stuff, more on edge stuff.
Yeah.
And Joe and Max was like me, so I was surprised by this. He was like, but they were trying to like obtain an image, which is understandable. But for me, I'm like, just throw it all out there. If we're telling a story, don't hide details. Like that might be like, oh, okay, this is a little wild. Put it in there if you're telling a story.
Right.
And so I'm all about that. We would get in fights in between episodes, like what, And then I remember Joe's always a big mind. He's CEO Joe. He sees the big stuff, and he's way better at that with me.
His lens is
yeah,
wide.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And he And he's like, we need to be more. He's like, I want to do more. We're about to go to these tournaments. We're about to go to these huge tournaments. Why don't we? Like maybe start creating vlogs, start doing this. And we had no idea what we were doing. We ended up going to, Wapaka.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the big breaking point. So we're going to Wapaka. Max is going to go video for us. Me and Joe were going to go play with Dalton Solberg, who played at us at Hawaii. And we're like, what's
the Wapaka beach or grass?
Grass.
Oh,
Grass.
yeah.
We had no idea what it was, but Dalton invited us, so we're like, let's just make a vlog out of it. It turned out to be a legendary 3-part vlog because we ended up winning it in the craziest style possible. Like, Dalton goes down in the quarters. We got to pick our old guy, our old friend, who's 55 years old, from the crowd to go play. It was like Cody Caldwell, Lev Prima, and
everyone's there, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a small, like, I think Latino setter they had was nasty, and they had
Zacharias. No,
maybe, I don't know.
Zach Rapoli is really good. He's gnarly, dude.
He wore these high stockings, I remember. I think it
sounds like him. It might not be him, but both wear. There's 2 guys and they both wear high stockings.
Yeah.
And that kid actually played at Hunter. He played.
They were good. They were good.
Yeah, he's Dominican.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was also who was that Russian guy who led the FIVB in like aces or whatever, the fastest serve.
Andrei Belov.
All on one team. That was our quarterfinal match. And we go, and in legendary fashion, we get Luke the Legend, who's just out there. Who used to be he played in our 4-man event. We always invite him. He's like, he heard we were going to Wapaka. It's like, I'll come, and we love him.
Yeah. Okay. No, this time just silent. Do not disturb.
Oh yeah, no, I understand. But then he makes crazy plays, and we end up winning in 3. Me, my brother, and Luke. And Luke is like 5'8". Yeah. Anyway, and then we ended up playing Troy Field in the final with the Baumgrens brothers, and we ended up winning.
Wow.
And we ended up winning
That's like a home game for the Baumgrens.
Yeah, they win that thing all the time.
Yeah. What year was that again? Because I just
same thing as 2020.
Just pull it up on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. You can pull it. We
as we're speaking. No, but as we're speaking, definitely.
Yeah, so 2020. So that kind of, I wouldn't say blew us up, but then we're like, okay, no, we released videos of that. They're like, who the hell is out of system? What is this? Because they knew it's to Hawaii, but they didn't like, what is this? I still remember Jason, he would be on the mic, and he's like, what's your guys' names? He's like, out of system. And then people would be like, what is that? We had to explain it like 1,000 times to people. And we still do. That's fine. I like that. I like talking about myself and the brand.
There it is.
So that kind of gave us more notoriety. And we went, and as things progressed, going to my senior year of college, we started kind of doing bits and pieces here, kind of figuring out who we're about. We bring in one more member who ended up being the ABC Player of the Year, Rado Parapunov. Yeah. He's a Bulgarian guy. It's opposite beast, one of our best friends. So there's 4 of us for a while.
Savage, dude.
Yes, savage, man. So then eventually Max and pretty much Rado kind of left because they were going to go do their own thing. It got really serious really fast. We're like, hey, Joe comes to me. He's like, in the group chat. And then we bring on Mike Amaha. So it's me, Joe, Mike Amaha. That is the brand now.
Right.
And he's like, we should go on tour this summer. And I'm like, go on tour? What does going on tour even mean? What does that even mean?
He said, like, what are we, a rock band?
Yeah. I was like, what does that even mean, going on tour? We're all like talking this FaceTime call. He texts it, and then he's like, well, then we're all like talking. He's like, hear me out. What if in the summers, and then by this time we're not crazy big. Like we have like 10,000 or like 12, maybe a little more, into relatively followers. Like to go on a nationwide tour is wild with like not a huge audience. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we got to finance it through going on doing camps and clinics at these clinics around the country. And then he's like, we should go play in the top grass tournaments. And we just develop merch this time. Sell merch, and then go and play and go play in the top tournaments or do camps, clinics.
So let me stop you for a minute. Yeah. That first finals, was that 2021?
Finals for Wapaka?
Yeah.
Whenever COVID hit.
Yeah. Whenever they let us out of the house, right?
Something well, yeah, like I mean, it's the Midwest. They were
because I'm scrolling. I see this, and it's Martin Gustafsson and Baco. That's 2020. That might be 2022. It's right here. I'll show you.
Yeah, so
it's on here.
You would have to go to an earlier one. You have to go to. Yeah, I can find it. It's like 2020. So 2021 is the first tour. 2020 is the first.
Actually, tell me who you played, so I could look.
Just like Troy Field.
Oh, sorry. Let me scroll.
Yeah. That was from the first tour. We played in a lot of legendary tournaments. Fortunate to win them all. That was pretty sick.
Yes. Look, I think...
There it is, right there. 2020 Wapaka boat ride. Ends up in finals.
Which one?
Right
right here.
The
cool.
Yeah, right there.
Nice. So, yeah, I'll put in a few highlights. But And I think it's cool because the team of you and your brother and Micah, like there's a lot of talented teams you're gonna face in doubles, sixes. You're an indoor player, you know that, but teams win games. You know, I always when I saw the 2008 Olympics and when I saw the USA beat Serbia, Montenegro, beat Russia, and then beat Brazil, and like three, you know, you're like. You could consider all three of those unlikely wins, or at least one of them, right? Because Russia's always been a stylistic nightmare for us. Good teams, good systems, right? Good teams beat good talent, and you guys were all talented, but your chemistry was something I would call the perfect storm. Like timing is everything, right? And unfortunately for you guys, it was good. So yeah, go ahead.
No, but yeah. So speaking of that, me, Joe, and Micah played club together 18 years. We were you see how that usually just that was because it was COVID.
Let's bring everybody. Let's bring everybody to that camera.
Yeah. So this is usually a small crowd. Well, Packy, it's just like thousands of people packed around. But we we're facing Bongans. They have a lot more. But so Micah wasn't with us at this time because he wasn't part of that system. So we had Chris Schaffer, who's in right back there.
Yeah.
We had to get him out of there.
Schaffer is awesome.
Yeah. So we had to, because we're like, Luke Lau started cramping after the quarterfinal game. So we had to go find someone while they're in the semifinals, playing the semifinals. We had to go find someone in the crowd to go play with.
And it was Schaffer?
And Schaffer, and it had to be someone who hadn't played.
Right.
And so I go to Schaffer, I'm like, are you drunk? He's like, no. He was hammered at this time.
I thought he was going to say, yeah, hello.
And he just hops into the semifinals match, and then we end up winning the finals with him too. And we ran in the 2-ball all day long against the Bombgrens, and that was kind of our run.
And I like the 2-ball because it throws off the timing of blockers who, you know what I'm saying, who have to get their footwork.
No, 100%. And with this also, I'm a lefty too, so I can hit some weird shots. But it was I mean, this game was so legendary for us. Such a good time. And the Bongans are a really steady group here.
It's basically a home game for them. Like,
it is.
I mean, the first time I've actually seen them play, period, was in this.
Yeah.
I have some friends that played threes. Elnis Palomino, who played for the Dominican national team. He played with Zach and Hillman. Hillman played with them.
I think I played them.
Played them. Good team. I'm sure you did. I'm sure, look, in order for you to win, you have to... You're gonna run into someone I met.
True. No, for sure.
You remember like juniors when you play juniors and you look at who the better teams in the tournament, and you're like, in order for me to win this thing, I have to beat probably two teams.
100%.
Like that.
You're 100% right.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I understand. But when you talk about me, Joe, and my kids, we've never lost a match together in anything we played. In anything, which is crazy because, and I don't mean that's not a brag. Like me, like I've lost matches before. Mike has lost matches before. Joe's lost matches before. But when we're together, like you said, it's kind of we fill in each other's gaps that we need, and we do exactly what we need to do. And there's a chemistry, and there's an attitude, and there's a mindset to it that we're not losing ever.
So I'm just doing a live.
I'm
doing a live all over again.
I'm watching because I'm interested in this for sure. This is amazing. It's an amazing setup, by the way. I really love this.
I'm definitely taking advice and tips on max bit rate. You know.
No, I get that.
But and the reason why I brought it up is because there are things that you did, the three of you did that were, that you did were almost clairvoyant, right? Like you'd get a dig, right, and the positioning of where your brother was setting and where you were, and as soon as you took a step this way, he knew it was going to be like a tempo 2 or a tempo 1.5, and you knew that the block would either make up. You'd see him here, or you'd see him try to dive in on a 3, and you just let him fly by. So it was these things where there's a lot of people like, you got to talk. You guys didn't even have to talk.
We get that a lot.
It was some clairvoyant stuff, dude.
For sure, you're 100% right. Luckily, Joe and I have been playing together I've known him for a long time. Yeah. But we go down and play fours all the time, and people are like, talk to us. Rather than me and Joe, we just know. We just kind of know. So it's a good thing when we're playing together. When we're playing with other people, I try and talk a little more. But if we're playing together versus other people that haven't really played with us before, they're like sometimes like, you gotta talk. I'm like, naturally in my mind, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about, I know where Joe sent me. I'm just gonna run there as fast as I can.
So let's do the chronology again. We're at Wapaka, right? Turned out to be great. Turned out to be this great boat ride. You picked up Schaff because, and the cool thing,
Hammered
anyone that
Schaff.
doesn't know Chris Schaffer, this guy is down for whatever.
Yep.
Any place, anytime, anywhere. I have so much respect for that kid.
So much respect.
And I don't even want to call him a kid because there's some things he does. He's a kid, and he celebrates like one, but there's so many
100%.
things that are mature beyond his years.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
So, all right, Wapaka. And then you have this idea to go on tour. And you're just like, somebody tell me what that means.
Yeah. So eventually we go on tour. It's me, Joe, Micah, and now he's part of our system, Jake Myers. He's 18 at the time. Because we're like, we need a video man to video all this. We're going to vlog the whole trip. Jake is 18. His parents dropped him off to us on a 5-week tour across the United States in a minivan.
Oh, cool.
Luckily, I had coached him. I knew him. My mom knew his family, and he was just a vibe guy. Like we just need a guy. He doesn't know anything about cameras.
No.
We ended up going to Pottstown Rumble. That was our first tournament. He comes up to me. He's like, I don't know how to work this camera. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're like, just
I'm like, here's a record button. If you dial it to 1, that's gonna be 24 frames per second. Normal, like talking me and you. You do C2, I already customized it, so it's like good slow-mo, but it's no autofocus. You have to manually focus.
Right.
And usually, and it gets like crispy shots. We like that. But that takes some experience.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
And this guy shot one of the most beautiful tournaments I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. He shot an unbelievable tournament, and he had no idea what he was doing. And he was amazing, but oh man, he was amazing at it, and he was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but he was so good. And we shot a great tournament vlog, and so we end up winning, and things start to kind of pick up from there. We go across the country playing the biggest tournaments, win the biggest tournaments, and we go and we host a bunch of cancer clinics, and then apparently, from what I've been told, everyone was talking about it. It was cool. The tour happened. It was crazy, and then from there we started doing it every single summer. And then we kind of it's a balance between then we start all going overseas and okay, how do you balance content there, and then just kind of build, and every year we're on our 4th tour now, a gargantuan tour. We used to go for like 5 weeks, or we used to have a home base here in Hermosa and fly out and then maybe drive somewhere after that. We don't have a permanent residence this summer. We're on a 3-month tour. And
you're like, I feel like a hippie.
Yeah. We were in an RV camper for about 5, and it is a grind. And like when I say, because not a grind, the traveling's a grind, but you have to be on every single day. One night we're in Knoxville, Tennessee. The next day you have to be ready to do two 2-hour clinics in Charlotte, North Carolina. The next day you're traveling. A lot of times you do overnighters, and you got a couple hours sleep, and you feel like crap. And you got to go to, like, if I showed you our schedule, insanity.
Yeah.
But it's so good for the business, and it's so good for our name, and also for me, more importantly, I get to see the fans. I get to interact with fans because I'm overseas. We're overseas 9-10 months of the year, so interacting with the fans, building new fans, and building a community that's the tours. And I'm telling you, like right now, the fact that I have downtime now for a week is the first time in the entire summer. And then right after the tour ends, I go back overseas.
How's it feel? Like surreal? Like
the rest period?
Oh,
so nice. And this community is giving so much to us. That's why we host the 4 Eyes here. The 4 Eyes for us, like in terms of business-wise, I'm not the businessman. I don't mean to talk like business, but in terms from a company standpoint, it doesn't do anything for us in terms of like, oh, we're going to build it like financially, because we want to keep it 4 courts, 16 teams, try to get the best of the best there. But for us, it's about giving back to the community that's given us so much. And they have given us so much.
It's a good tournament.
Yeah, we try. We try. It was tough this year because it landed on the SoCal Cup, and there was another 4-man tournament. But with our schedule, we don't have the luxury of choosing different weekends.
No, you really don't.
So,
yeah. Listen, I before you go on, chronology wise, the Pottstown Rumble usually comes before Wapaka. So I was for everyone watching, it was Wapaka the year before, and probably en route to and tour to Pottstown Rumble the next year, right?
It was Pottstown, Wapaka, Spike Fest in Dallas, and then
Spike
the
Fest.
Rumble. Then the Rumble in South Carolina.
Yeah, I talked to my friend James Barker. He's a program director, and I was telling him I had you on the podcast, and I said these guys have played grass anywhere. He's like, well, how about Spike Fest? And I said, 99%.
Yeah, we have a video out and everything. Yeah,
It's gonna be great. We definitely, dude. This is why I needed my tech person, Moraga.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good. It's all
She
good.
could have just been Joe Rogan in
Yeah.
this and plugging it in.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie, pull that up, man. Y'all got me a Jamie, and
That's
she
nice,
is,
man.
she figured, just like your camera person, she figured out all this on the go. Like she's like, she sees this and she's like, I don't know what I'm like,
YouTube University,
she took a look at the
baby.
switcher, and she's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that is.
Yeah,
That's
no,
crazy.
I get it.
So,
I get it.
yeah, but listen, COVID did allow us some time to acclimate and learn some of these things, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And volleyball players who don't have a lot of money to begin with, right? Like your car breaks down, and you're like, I'm not a mechanic, and then the volleyball gods come. You're an Avenger. Congratulations, you're a mechanic, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I don't know CPR. Yes, you do.
Yeah. Everything's online, man. It's more about like I have become. I'm not an expert, but I have become knowledgeable about because I've had a system because it's made me like because there's been so many. You're trying to put out storms left and right and fires.
Yeah.
And I handle all the video, the production, anything media wise, anything electronic wise, I have to handle.
Good.
Do you think I went to school for any of this?
No.
You think YouTube University, as Faina says, me and Faina Zhang, who's one of our social media girl and media marketer, head marketer. Me and her are a tag team, and we just work through it together, and we just figure it out. And we didn't go to school for any of this.
Yeah.
But I think the cool thing about the brand is also it's just it's genuine. I get this a lot, and I think this is the biggest compliment I get is that
it comes from a real place.
Yeah, and we love it, and like I mentioned business a lot, but for me it's not about the business. Mm-hmm. Me and my brother, everything that's been made we put back in the company.
Right.
Everything put back in the company
Nice.
because later taking out what now because later it could be a lot more successful. Just. Nice. Making sure,
All right, this is where I'm going
everything.
to annoy my audience because anything they can't stand is I say something and I draw something that I've done that I think is comparative to what you did.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
just like, dude, that's not even close. Why are you even bringing that up?
No.
2 years ago, 2022, I decided to shoot a documentary called Club Coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove to 13 different cities. I started at Phoenix, where my juniors I was coaching, and this guy from the Marine Corps had his own club.
Yeah.
And then I did that. I did Lubbock, Austin, like Project Sarah, Bobby Jones, New Orleans. That's a 3-day project because there's a lot of Joey's there. White, what's his name? Bruce White.
These guys better. I'm not good with names.
Yeah, Hayden Beach, John Hayden, Nashville. So I ended up just circling around Wisconsin, Denver. Nate Yang had a club, Denver, Vegas, then back home. And it's been in my closet for 2 years because I did this alone. I'm glad you got a team, right? But but now that I quit my indoor job, I'm going to be working on it now. But the reason why I brought it up is because there's the story you brought up, a lot of people are like, oh my God, I can see how they feel. They don't know how it feels. Only someone, I would love to say that only someone that's done that or done something similar can appreciate how exhausting that is. That's 6,300 miles, dude.
Yeah.
And you probably did 11,000, right? And in a 1 year span, probably like 11,000 miles.
Yeah, I mean, in 3 months. I mean, I haven't even calculated. It's been we went from all the way from Albuquerque and then pretty much every state until and back until Orlando, Florida. So we went. Down
I can also appreciate the value of figuring out things as they go. Like before we got in the podcast, right? I told you when I moved here, I just bought a camera and just pointed it at a court and then started talking behind it. And Casey Jennings is like, I like that guy. He's got, so he kind of put me on P1440. And
that's awesome.
Then from there, I did all the Pepperdine's home games. And then the Big West when Todd, Cal Poly played Hawaii.
Yeah.
And for the people listening, I'm going to get back to him, but I just want to be very, very clear. Like, if you see me doing YouTube, that's not my professional work. I'm just sitting there talking shit with my friends, and we're just having a good time. And some people who know me, they laugh, and some people like, oh, this guy thinks he's famous. Shut up, I'm muting you, and that's cool too, right? That's. I mean, I am annoying if you don't know me.
Yeah.
But that's not my professional work. I moved here a professional commentator already. So the difference between you and me is I had to start over. You at least had this opportunity of meritocracy, right? Like you got chance to play. and I'm 50, dude. If I could have just played and you know what I'm saying, and earned my respect that way. I did play in the Manhattan Beach Open. I was 47 years old. Come on, man. So no, but I really love the path you took because I've been a bit of a fan because Jason Olive, All-American in Hawaii, so I follow Hawaii's games. Right. Micah Maha, had the pleasure of having dinner with him and Greg Faulkner, so I already knew him coming in. And I remember that altercation he had with Dan Newman. I'm like, yo, if Micah's upset at you, you effed up, Dan.
Yeah, Micah's.
Dan, where's my camera? Dan, you effed up if Micah is upset at you, man. Dude's always trying to sell you something too. But I think before I even lose why I brought it up in the first place, I just want to say that I can appreciate you guys putting in this grind that is the camera doesn't get to the show. The camera that didn't show, right? Your boy did a really good job showing the fun part, the some of the journey to what we would call the finished product, which is never. And I don't want to sound egotistical about it. They have no idea what you went through to get to that point, to get to the point where the camera's pointing on you and you're showing, and you guys are showcasing just this amazing volleyball.
I want to say this is people. So kind of ad system's kind of multifaceted in a good way, but it's also you can get stretched thin at times with certain stuff. It's a good thing, and it can also at times hurt us. So sometimes we got to kind of bring it back.
Never thought you'd come on this podcast with your schedule. I love talking. I love. I just didn't think you had time. I didn't think.
Usually I don't. So that's why I'm so stoked to actually be here. But people, Joe says this all to me all the time because we always bring coaches and we always bring people in because they see like out of system, and then we're very
inclusive.
Yeah, we're very inclusive, but we always try and run a really good camp clinic or whatever we're doing, and then also make sure the coach have a great time. And we've been very fortunate to where that's happened pretty much every time, where like everyone's like, oh, they've had an amazing time if they're coaching for us, because we bring a lot of college players in or pros in that come coach with us, and they're like, this is like an amazing time, blah blah, like, and so word spreads, and so a lot of people want to come and work stuff for us or play, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And we love that because we used to have to beg people because we were this big.
Does no,
but no, I want to say one more thing is that people only see the fun side of things. Joe always says that it's a grind. It is an absolute literal. They only see with the camera. They only see the fun stuff. But they don't see the hard stuff that goes into it. It's 9 months of planning. A lot of time for this tour. It is day in, day out working. My brother does a great job with my aunt, who's actually part of it now, getting everything set. Logistically wise, it's literally 9 months of planning. And then when you're on the tour, it is a beast. And like I said, playing and also running the company and running the camps. It is not
taking care of your body, right?
Well, unfortunately,
finding a place to yoga out and this and that, and
That's, I always say the tour is not conducive for a pro athlete because, I mean, you're on the road for a month and you have to be places quick, so you can't eat as well as you want to. You can't work out as much as you want to. You can't, like, for example, you get like cool opportunities where you go to University of Tennessee and you end up having connections and you work out in their weight facility and getting all their all their like resources there. So, and there's like been pockets of that all over the country for us, luckily, because we try and spread our network out, But a lot of time it's, I come back after a month, gain a little weight, and then I go try and play 4-man, and I get my ass kicked, and they're like, Gage, why aren't you hitting the way you used to? I'm like, bro, I am not in the best, so. And then I got to go back overseas, and you got to make sure you're really fit for that. So in terms of being a pro athlete, it's not as conducive. But for the company, it's so good for us, where it's like, it's a necessity.
Can you appreciate why Nuss and Cloth made a decision to stay in Louisiana?
Yeah, respectable.
Yeah, they have the facility. As alumni, they have the gym. They have Russell Brock was a phone call away, but Drew Hamilton is a very capable coach. Right, Lieutenant Governor said they're sponsored by the state of Louisiana, and the thing I liked about them staying is that they can still visit here in scrimmage. And I told them when she was on the podcast, I said, don't move out here. I said, you want to be a successful volleyball player? Everyone's saying you have to move out here. No, you don't have to move out here. You just have to make multiple visits. And you just have to take your closed environment and then every now and then put it in a like you said, an environment, a diverse environment, and people are throwing different styles. But I'm like, don't move out here where let people smile in your face, where they're just trying to take your secrets, or
Yeah.
maybe even take your partner where they're trying to beat you now. So, and
True.
and look how that's worked out for them, right?
Number 2 in the world right now.
36 and 0 NCAA record. First Gold Series main draw, qualifier main draw 1. First FIVB Australia qualifier main draw 1. They're doing, and I only brought them up because there is a comparative of the way that they electrify the crowd. When Kristen Nuss gets a dig, you're at the end of your seats because you know when she gets a dig, there's something really cool that's going to happen in transition. And that's the same thing I say about out of system. You're getting some of these digs and some of these plays you're dialing up. You didn't dial it up before the whistle.
Yep.
You just it's like Indiana Jones. It's like, what do we do after that? I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go along.
Yeah.
You know, so you guys are the McKibbins on steroids because they're content creators and
those guys are. I want to give a shout out to them.
Yeah,
Those guys
me
are,
too. Yeah.
are beasts because they helped us so much in the beginning.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, they helped us so much, and they were out there this weekend too in our 4-man event.
I saw Riley. Yeah.
Yeah.
With Child, I think.
Yeah. And all 3 of them were out there, and we had Jameson playing.
Right.
And Carly was playing as well.
Good setter. Yeah.
Right. Amazing players, and we could not have done without them, and they paved the way. We, as I say, what is it? Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yep.
And those guys are giants.
Well, rising tides lift all ships, right? Like,
yeah.
They you can clearly see their finished product in the content creation and what happens, and you're just like, you can see the work. Like anyone that's tried to put a video together, even if you're just walking out there with one camera and just talking behind it, you see some of the stuff they're doing, the close-ups, the replays, and you're like, yo, this
high-end production
work. Yeah. It was high-end production because it takes good equipment and the right bandwidth.
Yep.
But the amount of patience it takes to find someone's best moment or worst moment or funny moment and go back and make sure that's the right one and say, boom, I'm putting this out there now.
Yeah.
Yo,
so
my
much.
man. I wanted to ask you a question about coaching.
Go for it.
And because we could definitely talk out of system all day, and
that
conversation is far from over in this podcast. As an active player, right? When you're coaching a kid, and let's say you're doing like a passing drill, and maybe you just want to assign kids focuses. Your focus is hold, right? Your focus is straight and simple. Your focus, you one move to the ball. You're one move to the ball too.
Yeah.
When you're teaching kids, and you leave that practice, is there a reflection of your own game, of reminding yourself, like, I just told that kid to do that, am I doing this? Yeah. So I guess what I'm asking you, and it took a long time to shape this question, has coaching some of these kids improved you and made you more mindful as far as taking care of the little things in your skill set and process as a player?
I mean, yeah, for sure. Sorry about that. When I first started kind of the process of doing these, well, luckily my dad's been having me coach since I was a really, really young kid. Like my dad, I was like 17.
Out of the womb.
Yeah, my dad, I was like 16. My dad had me coaching like 18-year-olds. I'm like, Dad, I used to do privates with kids I was about to go play in high school.
Nice.
And then like 2 weeks, I'm like, this is kind of weird, but all right. Like, that's not like a brag. Sure. It was pretty weird. I'm like, all right, you want to do private? All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And my dad's a very, very successful coach in his own right, where he's so much experience too. He's been coaching forever, and he owns a club. And long story short,
cool.
But so I've been around it, but I learned a lot through my process and just playing overseas, and I realized that everyone has their own way, and I think coaches need to understand that. And my job is I used to think to my own stuff where coaches be like, oh, do this. I'm like, that just does not work for me. There's no cookie cutter way of passing because I'm a libero. So what I try and tell the kids, I want you to try stuff. I don't want you to play with it, but I want you to stay true to your game as well. Don't be off of coaching. Don't be pushing
rigid. Don't be rigid to one ideal. Okay.
Yeah, but for example, I'll give you an example of that. Please. Like a lot of these kids can do. I can't do what a lot of these kids do in terms of, for example, they have these nice, beautiful long platforms, and they can turn, they can hold, and they can push. For me, I don't play like that at all. For me, it's all touch, all push a lot of the time, or take off, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than these beautiful platforms, they can form a platform to the side and just drop the shoulder, maybe with a little adjustment. I can't do that.
Right.
I have my own kind of ways. So when I'm teaching these kids, the biggest thing I say, hey, try a lot of things, and I'm going to give you like 1 or 2 things, and I want you to kind of play with it. And then, for example, like I said, okay, that's like the generic stuff. And then when we start doing the clinic and stuff, and when I'm coaching a kid, then I start getting more like, okay, like I realize what they're able to do. Because we've been fortunate enough to work with a lot of kids. Like we have a good amount of kids in camps and clinics. So like we're always from around the country, always working with like different backgrounds and different techniques and stuff. So it's cool. But I try and tell the kids, I'm like, dude, we're going to find whatever works for you is the best way. And like maybe what I said in the beginning doesn't work for you.
Right.
That's okay.
Right.
And I think that as a coach, if you're not able to lift that player up in terms of and increase what he or she is ability, and when I say not ability, but like what they're working with, that doesn't mean they can't accomplish what the other kid's accomplishing, because they can do this. You just got to find a different way. Yep. That's kind of what I learned. The biggest thing is. I forgot the initial question, but so I apologize.
No, has coaching kids made you a better player?
Yeah, for sure. Because
you did answer the question, because you started doing it as an early age.
Yeah.
Where you're supposed to be playing more than coaching, right? And you find yourself winding up coaching. I thought it was very interesting. Coaching the same team you're going to play against.
Yeah, that was
you're like,
interesting.
is this weird?
Yeah, it was because when I'm like, Dad, that guy's like that girl's like older than me. I feel weird, and he's like. My dad's a very stern, very strict man. It's like, get over there and you do it right now. And I'm like, okay. And so I go over there and, did what I had to do. But better player for sure, because I also realized I'm like, also maybe a better person too. Because you don't like, it's easy when you get in a place of power. Even such a little, like coaches, like they go on power trip. I've had so many coaches that go on like power trips with like the smallest amount of power.
You're gonna find you're gonna find those.
And then I'm like okay, like so for me, I try and be like the nicest, but like be very like I like to be stern. I like to hold them to a certain degree. Just kind of make me a better person, because also allow me to communicate a lot better. Like I've become a lot better communicator. I think it's a really good skill in life, and especially as you're a coach. So as a volleyball player, yes, but I think as a person more, I would say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I like how you said that, because you're going to run into types of coaches. I'll give you an example. There are types of coaches that have one way to play volleyball, right? Mm-hmm. And if you can do it their way, they're the first one to jump in in front of that parade, and they're taking credit because they taught you. But if you can't do it the way they do it, then it's kind of somebody else's fault. Mm-hmm. Right, it's not theirs. You're just
accountability.
They conclude that they're just not good enough to do it. Where, for me as a coach, I always feel like I fail. Always, I behind you. There's a high school team. I'll tell you. They had a 38-1 record. We won the PSALs, and for some reason, Madison Square Garden gave me Coach of the Year for that. I failed on the one loss.
Right.
I remember the one loss. I'm up 23-17. Oof. I have both timeouts, and I didn't use either one. Tough, dude. And I think the thing that makes someone a better coach is not just sitting there lulling on their worst moments, because that and it's stupid for me to lull on a 38-1 record. That's It's a good problem, but to always find a way to, like you say, to make something that works. Right. I was talking to Dane about this, and I'm going to repeat this, so bear with me. For the people that heard this story before, in theater. I'm a theater major, right? Mm-hmm. There's a style of acting, Stanislavski or Stanford Meisner, where if you get up and move across the room, there has to be a reason. You don't do it unless you find a reason, right? Mm-hmm. That's one way. And the other reason is Michael Chekhov, not Anton, who's the playwright, but Michael Chekhov. You get up, move across the room, come back. Didn't feel anything? Do it again. Yeah. All right. Feel a little bit? Do it again. Play around with it. Allow. And that style has allowed me to be a better coach, because what you can take is they're showing you what they have mechanically, athletically. And like you said, like there's some kids at a certain level, at a high level, you're just trying to show them one or two things, because you're not trying to say anything. You're not trying to do us anything that's going to mess up their preparation to a tournament. Like Frank Field, I coached him last year. I totally messed him up. Him and Zepper totally messed those two guys up. Just too much. It was way too much information. I stick my chin out, and I own that, because I believe in myself, and you can blame yourself if you believe in yourself. Mm-hmm. But that's just me, one person. But I think the point I was trying to get to is I admire that you allow that there's more than one way to skin a cat. I respect the fact that that you're playing in the professional league and they don't care what your technique looks like. They just want the ball to go to the target, right? So,
Yeah.
and that league of absolutes where you can do or do not. Like I'm a Bill Parcells guy. That's you want to talk about your dad being cold? That's how I was raised. I'm a New York guy, so either you know what.
Where in New York you from?
I lived in the Upper West Side, but born and raised in Brooklyn.
Okay,
Flatbush
so-
Avenue, pretty rough neighborhood back then. I don't know what it looks like now, probably gentrified, but I had to fight every day.
Gotcha. I was.
Yeah. I have mixed parents.
Oh, okay.
And it was like an all black neighborhood. And when you moved there, I moved there from Coney Island, right?
Okay.
Which was an improvement, by the way. Flatbush was an improvement from Coney Island. Just drawing that picture for y'all. And you know, like they didn't care if my mother was black. Like we ain't got time to dice up all white people. So I had to, dude, I had to fight every day until they just said you're black. And finally at the end, they're like, dude, you're black. So,
I'm from. I lived in Rochester for like 9-10 years. So that's why I asked. Yeah, nice. I played for the Pace. But anyway, that was a long time ago. That's why I asked if you're from New York.
They have good volleyball out there. What's his name? Davenport's from Rochester. Scott Davenport's from Rochester.
Yeah. A lot of good players come out.
Misery actually was close to Rochester. Misery from UCLA.
Okay. Dylan Misery.
Yeah. Played for Sachem High School, right?
Yep.
So
Long Island kid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long Island, and this is cool for the people listening. Long Island is a league that has their season in the fall. So how about that, guys?
Interesting.
Everybody else, for everyone else for my people who follow this podcast and don't even follow this for volleyball, sorry about that. Usually volleyball's in the spring for boys and NCAA men's, and theirs, oddly enough, is the same time as football season. It's fall. It's in the fall, so
that's risky to do though, because a lot of like football and then I guess basketball's in fall too. Yeah, I don't know how it works on the East Coast though.
So you played at Hawaii. You started 2019. You kind of had a repeat year because of COVID, right?
Yep.
And you guys were in the finals probably 3 of the 4 years, or all 4 years, right? You won twice?
Yep. So my freshman year was that 2018. 2018
That was Ohio State?
Yeah, we didn't. No, that was 2017.
17, yeah.
2018.
Gnarly semis.
Yeah. So in the semis, it was Hawaii. My brother was there. Hawaii, Ohio State. 2018, I go in my freshman year. We kind of get botched from the tournament.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You beat Irvine in the
like
semis to get to the Big West Finals, and Irvine got in, and you didn't.
We had a better RPI, we had a better record, and we were like 2-1 versus them, and we just beat them the previous night.
That left everyone scratching their head.
Yeah. So that it is what it is. Whatever. We don't talk about it.
But it's the toughest division. Right?
Big West, yeah.
The Big West. At that time, the two toughest divisions were the MIVA and Big West first, of course. There's just too many. They're top heavy.
Yeah.
And MIVA, which always had Loyola Chicago. Lewis was pretty good back then.
MPSF.
Yeah, Lewis beat the brakes off for USC in the first round in the NCAA. So, sorry.
And then my sophomore year was 2019. We made the finals, lost Long Beach in the finals. Terrible loss. Probably the worst loss of my life up to this point.
Went to 5?
No, we lost in 4.
Okay.
Won the first set, and then we just didn't.
Yeah.
We couldn't score. The middle destroyed us. We couldn't serve.
Yeah.
As a libero, that's so frustrating because I can't serve. But it is what it is, you know. And that was my brother's last game with me in college. I remember just crying in his arms, just apologizing to him. That was another story though. That was brutal. So then
I'm not gonna slap you. It's okay. We can talk about this.
That was a tough one.
Man, come here. Come a little closer. Man up, son. No, I'm not. We're here to talk, man.
Yeah, that was a brutal one. And then 2020, when we were the #1 team in the nation with BYU, and that's what I was describing. The first night, they killed us. The second
Gabby was
night.
a problem, dude.
Gabby had like 11 aces first. I think 3 or 4 on me the first night. He destroyed us. And so then COVID ends. It was gonna be us in the finals, and then the 4th year, #1 and 2 again, and we faced in the finals, and we sweep them. And I had a 5th year option, and they ended up winning in the 5th year. But I didn't take it because I was like, I did what I needed to do. I'm just gonna go overseas and do pro. And I want to kind of start out of system more. And NIL wasn't a thing at that time, so it was like in order.
But you guys were always in the mix, right? Like even the year you lost to Ohio State in the semifinals, that was before you got there. That was when your brother was there. Ohio State just caught fire. Like, I remember watching at semifinals, and I remember Soji or whoever, like, sat down, right, next to one of his teammates, and he looked at his teammate, and his teammate looked back to him, and he did this. Look. He went,
not happened.
No. Yeah, it was the second set, and it was like, wow. And me as a coach and as a commentator, I'm always looking for these little things. And
Yeah.
I said, that dude just said we're not winning this game. It's the second set.
I mean,
and I said, that
yeah.
dude, that body language said, we're not winning this match,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
freaking French dude.
Surgeon, Nicholas Surgeon. He's
No,
still, yeah.
The jump serve, just like Gabby, the jump serve was game changing, dude.
Yeah, like Nicholas Surgeon is a good friend now. He's a beast. He plays overseas in Poland. He's Polish and French. So the Polish league, for the listeners that know,
It's a good league.
I would say the top league, tied with Italy.
Yeah.
And he's in the last 2-3 years, he's won the best server in Poland.
Yeah.
So he's a world-class server
And
volleyball player.
And Germany, right? Your brother plays in Germany now, you
No,
said?
my brother plays in France now.
In
I
France.
play in Germany.
Cool. What part?
Northern Germany, Hamburg area.
I know.
So I'm like 45 minutes outside of
I
Hamburg.
was there for 2.5 years. I was
Okay,
in
then,
the Army.
Okay, yeah, a lot of Army.
And actually, that hardware behind you, that's my professional championship.
Oh, sick.
That's the Hessen-Pfalz League. I played in Darmstadt, Germany.
Oh, no way.
And we beat Baumholder, which is a mixture of military guys and professionals. Because I want you to picture like volleyball players, like in the best shape of their lives because they're in the military.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They're
And with that
friggin'
kind of
ripped.
drill, that drill mentality.
Yeah.
That makes them absolute killers, like off the court as well.
100%.
So it was back then it was side out, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was great.
The
Yeah,
Army
yeah.
European Championship was fun.
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. Do they still have those or no?
I wonder.
I've never heard it because I have.
I mean, it's not like they ain't got the money to do it. They got
Yeah,
the money to
yeah.
do it, right?
I mean, I know guys in the Army there that are in Germany that are stationed there that actually came out to a game. And I talked to them. I knew them from the volleyball community.
Yeah.
I met them at Pottstown actually.
Yep.
And they didn't mention anything about that. I think they would have if it still happened. Because I
Yeah.
asked them about how they play and stuff.
Yeah. But good league though. Yeah.
Germany?
Yeah.
Yeah, really good league. In terms of it's top heavy. So
Yeah.
the top teams are very, very good. Like for example, this year we went to the second biggest European championship
Right.
in the CEV finals, and so we were in Champions League this year, which is like the top league.
Did
and everything.
Mannheim still have a team?
Mannheim doesn't have a team anymore now.
Oh, that's too bad. They were always in the end. They were always there in the end. And a lot of the military guys, particularly from the LSMO, it just kind of stayed.
Yeah, yeah.
They stayed. You know, their time was up.
Right,
And
right.
they stayed and played a couple of
Yeah.
years. At the end of the day, I wasn't good enough. I was good enough to play to have a contract,
Right.
and I'm still good enough to beat half of these cats. But at the end of the day, I'm an absolutes guy. Either I was
Yeah.
good enough to stay or I wasn't. I was there
Yep.
for 2 years and I wasn't good enough. So
Happens, man.
yeah.
Happens. But
that's a good. Again, it's a good problem. It was a time.
Yeah.
It was a time of your life, right? You're having
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
having fun. I saw some of the videos. I saw some of the
Time of my
highlights.
life.
You
Yeah,
know.
But no, but it's in terms of the German league, it's top heavy. So like you can go and just destroy the bottom teams, but those like top 6 teams are you have gnarly battles with like world class teams. So it's that's the only thing about the German league is it's known for having 6 really good teams, and I'm fortunate to play on one of the top teams.
Yeah. I love that team. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone just moves out the way and lets you pass. It's
Yeah.
just
If I'm doing my job, yeah. I just gotta keep doing my job then.
yeah.
But and then I'm in a good spot. I mean, I have a sick apartment close to my girlfriend, which is really nice, and I'm fortunate where they like me a lot there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see where.
I had a good air base there. I remember Rhein-Main Air Base had like a Red Lobster. And Red Lobster, for everybody at home, that's like our trailer trash, our trailer trash version of La Grenouille, you know, because you can't say Red Lobster and be from New York and call that a good restaurant. It hurts everyone's feelings. Yeah, it's a good base. I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Your brother plays, you play, everyone plays. This is basically your life force. But I want to ask you a question. Was there, and I've asked other people this question, but was there a particular tournament or a match that was a kind of a defining moment where you left the tournament and says, "Wait, I think I could do this for a living"?
Oh, for professional?
Yes. Was there? It could have been high school. Look, it could have been college, right? It could have been as late as college. It could have been a club game. It could have been a high school game. Was there a particular tournament where it was just electric? You were part of it. And everybody was like, "Oh my God, you're so good," and you left, and you're like, "Wait, this isn't just something me and my family does. This is something I think I can do professionally."
Yeah. I am. The thing with USA though is no one thinks about professional because we don't know in terms of indoor because no one knows about it.
Right.
You don't think about it till like okay, you go into your freshman year of college year, freshman or sophomore year of college, and you're kind of thinking, you hear rumblings. Okay, your teammates are going there. Like, okay, where you going? Okay, you don't know anything about it. Junior year comes, senior year comes. That's when you kind of start to think of it. I was always a guy where I was on very good teams. I was fortunate to play with very, very good players and also international players. So I always won. We were always successful.
Right.
And
Wait, where in California again, just for the audience? Where?
California, and then also in Hawaii when I played in college.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'll say it like this: in California, I've always played 2 years up. And as a libero, I was able to do it. Any other position would have been a little harder to do that. Like if I was a hitter playing 2 years up, it would have struggled for sure.
Yeah.
But I was a passer, so it was easier to play up. And I played on some really good teams, won some national championships, which was really, really cool with the really gnarly teams. And so I had no doubt that I could play at that level. There was never, even from a young age, I had no doubt.
Yeah.
And that's also, I was fortunate to have a very good team around me.
Wow, dude.
And then in college, it was just kind of the same way. I was always the younger guy on the team, and we were always very successful. And then, so there was never a doubt that I could go play pro. At a time, USA was always in my radar. I had to turn down that to pursue out of system. But then, what was it? And then I just kind of went pro. So there's never, I would say, a doubt. I always had my mind on the bigger pictures because I was playing with older, successful guys.
Right.
And so my mindset was the same as them. I was just 2 years behind, 3 years behind.
Yeah.
You know, and I was always like highly touted from a young age, so that was kind of fortunate. And like I said, that's not just by me; it's by my dad coaching, always surrounding me with a good team, and making sure that like the college coach is going to be in the top 5 courts. And unfortunately,
and also being a libero, like staying a libero, is significant too because I don't know if a lot of people notice. Like I would say, and please correct me because you're literally, still in this whole playing mix thing. I would say 50% of a lot of the kids who were playing libero were probably outside hitters in high school. Yeah. You had the leg up of just playing libero the majority, if not all of the time. And I'd like for you to come in and correct a little bit. I'd be like, nah, Jay, I played some oppo or this or that. So talk to me a little bit about that.
No, yeah. So so when I started playing, I mean, when you're 6, I started club when I was 6. So when you're playing, I would switch out. Me and my brother would set and hit together.
Little tiny people setting the ball, big old ball behind you.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. We my brother, I was fortunate enough. My dad and my mom videotaped every single game that I played in since I was 6 years old. Wow. In a database, labeled everything. I can go back and my dad's computer. I can just go boom, and I can get any game I want that I played. Nice. So I'm very fortunate that they did that. And every time I go home, I always watch matches. And I'm fortunate where my mind works not only in this category here, where my mind I remember very vivid details about matches, even when I was younger. But crap, what was the question again? Sorry, my mind's kind of a race right now.
No, we were talking about like defining moments where you thought you're like, all right, I think I could do this for real. But I like that your answer is basically your answer is I knew I was gonna do this from the day I was born, the day I came out of the womb.
Yeah, I mean,
you always knew it.
Long story short, I was very fortunate with that.
We have to be honest.
Oh, actually, I hit it. When I was younger, when I was like 13, I had to hit for the team, and then from that point on, 14, I went to 16s when I was 14 to play with my brother, and then we had a really good team there. And it wasn't until my last 2 years. I was 17. I played 3 years of 18s. When I was 17, so my second year of 18s, we had a team where we had so many liberos. We just dig every ball. We didn't have anyone to kill it. And we had so much potential. We could win national championship and everything, but just we didn't want to kill it. My dad's like, all right, Gage, you're going to turn to hitter. I'm like, I got to get an arm. I haven't hit in what?
100 years.
4 years. So
it feels like 100
years. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, and hitter's a lot of experience. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. At first it was rough, but then I just popped off one tournament, and then I quickly became our best hitter. And then 17th year, so I was really, and then we went to nationals in third, but then we lost in the quarters to MB Surf. I still remember that match. I don't want to talk about it. But
I think Avery Joss is coaching one of those teams.
Yeah. It was the Bull A's. It was the Bull A who was coaching that team that year. And it's 18's year, my third 18's year, I go and I was fortunate to have a really good year. I just got more physical and I jumped higher. USC actually recruited me as an outside hitter. I was a first team All-American outside hitter. And I was like, you know what? In my mind, I was always like, I'm a libero playing outside hitter.
Right.
I'm not outside hitter playing libero.
Right.
I was like, when I go to college, I'll be libero. Because one, I actually love it. People hate it, but I love it. It can get frustrating at times. Don't get me wrong.
Is it what you wanted?
Libero? Yes, it can get. Yeah, it is what I wanted. I'm
glad you got the question.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, no, I know what he's asking.
No. Yeah. It's like I said, I can get frustrated though at times because like I can dig 1,000 balls, but that doesn't mean jack. Like if we don't score, I could literally dig 1,000,000 balls in a match, and it wouldn't amount to. Well, it gives you a better chance,
Right.
but it doesn't physically amount to anything.
Not without good transition.
Not without killing the ball. Not without that's what it comes down to.
I mean, look, good diggers increase their chances.
Yeah.
Again, you just watch it, guys. YouTube search out of system and just watch some of Gage's highlight digs. These aren't just because people are looking for like these highly athletic, spectacular stuntman double touches, and you have those too. All right, don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
But again, as a guy who trains his mind on absolutes. Is the dig going to the target? Can we run a one ball off that, right? Is it transitionable where the hitter on transition gets all of his court vision back instead of here and having to do this, right?
Right.
And your digging checks all of those boxes. And it's fun to watch. I only got to watch 2 videos, and I'm like, I'm like, dude, the guy's gonna come on the podcast. I don't want to get caught still watching stuff.
Yeah.
But you understand what I'm saying?
You're
And like you're not wrong. You can dig as many times as you want without transition. It doesn't mean anything. But there has to be a level of pride to know that you check your boxes and always put them in a position to do that. Some of these digs are just guys, watch the videos because some of these digs again, they look like stunt man double things where in theory someone's supposed to bring out of system back in system. No, these are in system digs. The setter is there waiting. So
my coach always said to me, it's like one the hard balls are important, but the easier balls are more important.
Yes.
So when someone gets an easy ball, you need to make those perfect. And I knew that, but until I started getting punished in Europe for not making them perfect.
Yes.
Then I learned my lesson with that. So for any if you're playing out there, just make sure the hard digs, like you said, the acrobatic digs are awesome. They're fun, and cool to make. But when you get that ball drilled right at you or around your area, you need to make sure you're getting that up in a good spot for your team. But that's why I try and play, and I learned a lot of lessons to that. And that what you saw there, that took a lot of years of experience and a lot of fail. I think players all the time, like you said, I see highlight tapes, and you said this upstairs. They don't know the road that you kind of took to get where you're at. They just see where you're at, and I struggled with mental stuff, and then plenty of times throughout my career. I think kids, they just see the top level, and they're like, oh, these guys are just beasts and they have no problems.
Yeah, piece of cake.
I mean, and there are times like that where it's okay, I'm balling, there's no problems. But people go through stuff on the court and off the court, and it affects them so everyone goes through stuff, and I think people need to understand that too, where everyone goes through stuff, and that's just an athlete because you're always being compared. You're comparing the here and the now, and it's not like a normal job where you can just be like, okay, I did my 9 to 5, but literally. Your statistical always being judged on statistics, on this. You can literally see you're always performance based on a daily basis, and that can take a toll on you at times. But I've gotten to a point now where it doesn't take as much of a toll, if any, on me. Well, there's times here and there.
No, I mean, you're not a machine. You're a person.
Yeah.
I mean, opinions vary. I mean, you've been a machine. Some of these games you look like a machine, and I think sometimes the mental affects the physical, right? If you're kind of messed up mentally, next thing you know, you're positioning to defend the middle, or you're positioning to defend the oppo or the outside. You're like, all right, some plays you got to play inside because you see the line of whatever, but you're like, what the hell am I doing all the way over here and giving up all that real estate over there?
Yeah,
that's just that's mental. That's steering you away from where you're physically supposed to be, unless I can use you as an example. Just mindless reps of just going through the motions, guys.
Yeah.
Is not a bad thing for the people listening at home. Going through the motions is a good thing because
Yeah.
you're always going to find yourself at the scene of the crime. But
Yeah.
go ahead. You have a thought.
No, you're right. I think good emotions is good. I think from a coach's standpoint, lack. But sometimes, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right with like, because there's two ends of the spectrum here. You have the end of the spectrum where it's like all that people do is just go through the motions, and then all people do is just the wild, crazy stuff. So you need to meet in the middle. I think as a player standpoint, from a player standpoint, you need to find a balance of that if you're a coach. Right. And this is not being like, oh, I run camps and cliques. This is me from a player standpoint. Like in a practice setting, is like you need to practice the easy balls and do those very, very good. And
you can't say it enough, right?
Yeah, you can't.
Jeez, go ahead.
And two, you need to practice those crazy balls. And Milan Zarkovic, my assistant coach at Hawaii, probably the best coach, one of the best coaches in the world, most well-respected coach in the world. He's Serbian, so he has like around the world coached so many world-class, top of the top players.
Yep.
But you need to train both. If you're not training both, then they're not getting better. I think I've been part of practices where I'm just like not doing any as libero. And I get as you're a coach,
right.
Libero is sometimes the hardest place. What do you do with the libero here in this drill, in this situation? If you have one court and the whole team, but if you're really thinking, if you're really trying, you can do it. And Milan Zarkovic does it the best.
Yep.
How do you train the middles on blocking and attacking, or them like, but still train libero at the same time within the same drill? And I've been part of drills where I'm not doing anything for an hour straight, continuously for a week. And I've been part of drills where I'm just running around, I'd rather have that than doing nothing, but then I think my Hawaii assistant does such a good job of making sure I am always doing something, but always practicing the easy balls as well. I think that's really important.
I think it is too, and I think when you're coaching juniors, right, there are some basic things that you allow yourself to put pressure on them. Like, for example, you were talking about taking care of the easy things, right? Like for juniors, when I was coaching juniors, LAVBC, I have three major on-court controllables. One is serve, right? Serves, right? No one can smack the ball out of your hand. Only you can miss, right? And controlling competitive serves is is the measure of every level, right? From the Olympics, from France having no reception errors against Russia in the gold medal finals in the fifth set, right? No reception errors against the best serving team in the world. Second thing is in system setting, right? Someone gives you a good pass, the other team cannot make you set poorly. Only you can do that, right?
Yeah.
And the third thing is free ball, down ball.
Yeah.
Free ball, down ball. Now, depending on the level you're playing, and this is for juniors coaches too, it could be 80-20, it could be 90-10. At your level, probably 90-10, right? Don't be out there shanking balls, or I don't know if someone's looking for style points, or I don't know if just people are just losing their focus. There's no reason why that ball should not be what you would call the perfect pass for the easy things, if that's what you were alluding to
100%,
before.
100%. Yeah, super important. I think also when you get overseas, you learn about out of system, shout out to the brand, out of system setting, and everyone has to be an amazing setter, and you learn that when you go overseas pro.
Yep.
Middle, libero, outside, right side setter, hopefully.
Everybody.
So no matter where on the court is, off the court, everyone has to be able to set that ball on the net, because in pro at a really high level, you don't get many opportunities. Opportunities come in really weird. It can come in a still very, very hard ball to
You're
get.
I didn't see it coming. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. But out of system setting is so important too. And I think that's something people have to train more as well too. Because I didn't start really training it that much, take it that seriously, until I went overseas. And then if you're not able to set as libero, we'll fire you right now.
Yeah,
because
you only have two jobs. What are your two jobs? Your jobs are to dig and receive serve.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, is there anything else that's supposed to come with that dig and receive serve? Right? They're not going to ask
Right.
you to serve. I don't know if in the pro league they allow liberos to serve. I
They
don't know if
they do
there's a
not,
rule. Okay.
but they have me serve because I have pretty good serve. We face like a gnarly lefty, like for
Right.
outside, so they'll just have me crack balls back there
Okay.
sometimes.
There you go.
Yeah.
What
get
does
it out.
preseason look like? Like as far as process and preparation for professional, for the scene, or specifically the scene you're in Germany.
Yeah, well, man, as I said before, the tour doesn't like put you in the greatest shape. So one, make sure you shed off what you need to shed off. Our coach Stefan Hubner, one of the best coaches in the world, he used to be the best middle in the world. Not too long ago, he's our head coach at Lunenburg. He has a pretty harsh regimen where we're working out 5 days a week, pretty much, like hard workouts plus cardio 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's preseason.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then heavy lifting, and then also 4 out of the 7 days we're practicing. No, 5 out of 7 days we're practicing the ball. So so it's in the morning. Okay, I'll just give you a day. So I wake up. We usually do like one group starts lifting at 8 o'clock before next group of people start lifting at 8:30. You know, just so like we're not like all at the same stations and like crowding it up. You know what I'm saying? So we have that. So I like to be the earliest one. I like to start 8, just to like I don't like to like walk in and see people pretty much done. I'm like. I'm like, dang, that could have been me, you know. And I put not that I like to be in and out, but I like to put my work in. Don't get me wrong.
No, of
But I
course.
like to be the earliest one. I like to be the earliest group, and do
Get
what I
in,
gotta
get
do.
out.
Yeah. Well, like I take like I don't rush it or anything. I do my stuff, but that and then okay, that's about a 2-hour workout. So you have a 2-hour workout, except the cardio at the end, and then you go home and you hopefully eat healthy. Some people, they can eat whatever they want and they're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
I am not like that
no,
at all.
Dude, that was me for a long time, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But respect to whatever your process is.
Yeah.
I've had I play with guys that like eat like bag of chips for lunch and then just go ball. I'm like, what are you like? That's crazy. But
Jeez.
for me, I like to kind of eat healthier, especially in preseason.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have like 4 or 5 hours to yourself a lot of time, or it could vary. Like so, for example, if you have 8 a.m. workout lasts 10:30, you practice at 3, you show up at 2:30, or you practice at 5, you show up at 4:30.
Right.
Already, not show up, but like be ready by 4:30. Like that time is for you. So whatever you want to do. Sometimes we have like luckily it's summertime and preseason for us in Germany because I live in northern Germany where it gets freaking cold, it gets wet. It gets snowy.
It's miserable
Yeah,
weather.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it's terrible weather, but I have a good setup in the town sick that I live in.
Good.
And my apartment's I love my apartment.
Yeah.
But luckily we have this lake, with this big lake near us, and we all go out. And like I'm a water guy. I was raised in California. I went to school in Hawaii. Like the water is where I feel at peace at home. And it's not the ocean, obviously. It's not Hermosa Beach or Mox or anything from Hawaii, but it does the trick where you just go in, you swim a lot. It's good cardio 1 and 2. You're just in there just with your boys. So.
Yeah.
So and then you'd practice at whatever times from around 3 or 5. It's 3-hour practice, and then you go, and then the rest of the time is yours. You go sleep, wake up, repeat, and then you have 1 or 2 days, usually with the weekends off. With the weekends off, you can do maybe we have team building activities in the preseason, or they're up to you really. But this year the preseason usually lasts like 2.5 months. This year I only have like a month. Which is nice, but the bigger the tour, the less shape. If I'll be honest, the less shape I'm gonna be in. So I had to just kind of get after it usually for that month. So that's just kind of how it is.
All right. So for nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question's one is it's twofold, and the second one's fun.
Mm-hmm.
What do you give your body that your body needs?
Yeah. So I'm sure there's better people that can answer this question, but no one knows your body better than you. That's also if you're gonna be a professional athlete, know that in terms of workout, in terms of what you eat too. So for me, I keep in mind what can I repeat and like what's actually doable, right? Because you can easily just be like, I'm just gonna eat this and this every day, but you're gonna be miserable. Because also 1, you're in a foreign country. 2, you're in your house 5-6 hours a day. So if I was here, you can just grab some really quick. You're not thinking about food or anything like that.
Right. Yeah.
But if you're trying to 1, conserve energy for your practice later, and 2, you're gonna be in your apartment all day, your mind's gonna be more on food too. Or at least for me, that's how it is.
Right.
So you're like, okay, what's actually doable here for me and what works for me? For me, I don't eat breakfast. Just 'cause I'm never hungry in the morning, and I'm not saying you should not eat breakfast. That just
No,
works for me.
this is
That
yeah.
works
We're
for
just
me.
talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
one person here, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone, calm down.
Yeah, chill. So, and then, excuse me, sorry. And then for lunch, I usually try to have rice with some sort of chicken and vegetables, and then for dinner, I have some sort of fish, chicken, vegetables. Now, I like to mix up here and there, and I like to throw like burger patties on with like potatoes or whatever. But in the preseason, I like to make it like lean meats. And then like sometimes, we'll go out for sushi, or we'll go out like one day a week we'll go out for like kebab or whatever with the team for team building.
What? Nice.
So it's a good time. So like stuff like that. But like whatever's doable. And then 9 months out of the year, you're gonna have like sometimes where you eat like a lot of like I have a lot of pasta before the games, or like sometimes a pizza or whatever. Not before a game, after a game. That's gonna happen. I'm not here to say I'm some strict regimen. Like I'm just built a little thicker. I know that too.
Right.
So I'm never like this super lean beast, but I know what weight is good for my body and how I feel good in my body. And when am I my best? So that's kind of how it looks like mainly in the preseason and in the season. Like I said, it can vary between that kind of stuff like that, like a lot of rice and like lean meats. It can and some pastas as well, I think. But for me, I need to mix it up. I can't
Well,
like,
what's your guilty pleasure?
So I've never. So food is something I have to make sure I'm on top of, because there can be slips in the year, because I've never drank, I've never done drugs. But food can be a vice for me. So, I have guilty pleasures, but they don't have it overseas a lot of time. Like I could just go to Taco Bell and just destroy, and I can eat a lot. Trust me. Or we go to this unlimited sushi place called Barbarossa.
Come on.
And it's like this
Unlimited sushi?
Yeah.
That's the way
for
to
$20.
go. Dude, that's the way to go.
And
Get your money's worth. Yeah.
I could eat 40 to 60 of them.
Yeah.
Like that. No problem.
Yeah.
So I would say that like overseas, but like here at Taco Bell, or like I could just go to the In-N-Out and just like go eat a 4x4, 3x3 and animal fries like that. No problem.
Yeah. You know what's weird? In New York, you can eat a lot of foods that get you fat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the one food that never got me fat, oddly enough, was pizza. And when I move out here, I can have a slice of pizza and I feel like the worst person.
Do you think it's more greasy, or what do you think it is?
I think it's just hard water or soft water. How they make
the
their
water.
sauce.
Oh, the New York water. Yeah.
It's just how you make your sauce. Like if you're from Brooklyn, you got to know how to make your own sauce.
Yeah,
It's just
100%.
that's requirement. That's like
Yeah.
you learning how to play volleyball. That's, right? There's not even a conversation about it. You're playing.
Yeah.
Shut up. You're going. So
Yeah.
so Brooklyn, it's making your own sauce. So Germany, you're right. Not exactly the biggest menu in the world.
Europe
And there was also a myth about athletes having to should eat like 5 or 6 times a day, which again, if that works, everybody calm down. If that works for you, right? Settle. If it works for you, then do it. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. It worked for me.
Yeah.
Because I told you before the show started, I used to weigh 265. And I had this come into Jesus moment where I saw this guy in the New York subway station who kind of like had my hair.
Yeah.
You know, like the kinky bush. Except he was like 350 pounds.
Yeah.
And have you ever been in New York? There's like these 2-seaters on the end on the end of the train cars. He got both. He's sitting there. He's like, I got you covered. I got I got more than one behind. I got it covered.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a 20-piece from McDonald's, right? He's got fries. He got whatever, and he can't find a place to put the food. And he looks at his stomach.
Oh no.
And he puts the food on his stomach and starts eating chicken McNuggets.
Yeah.
Off of his stomach. And I saw that dude. I was like, yeah, that's me. If I don't, what? So my boss wrote a book called Dr. What Should I Eat? Which, when you're rich, you're not like pumping people full of drugs is not going to be your first option, right? Because you're not getting like money, kickbacks from writing scripts.
Right.
So some doctors are, write a RX, get a check, and that's okay too, right? Because people just want their drugs; they don't want to die. And then there's a guy who writes a book called "Doctor, What Should I Eat," which prescribes food for ailments instead of medication.
Oh, okay. That's
so,
awesome.
for example, if you're anemic, if you're low iron, you can take iron tablets, which the side effect might prevent you from pooping the way you do, right? So now, and then you're gonna have to take something for that, right? Metamucil, right?
Yeah.
Or you can have red meat. Or you can have cold, uncooked spinach, right? Those are all great sources of iron.
Yep.
If you have high cholesterol, right, you could take a prescription for Lipitor,
right?
Pfizer product, or you can have something that lowers your cholesterol, You know,
Right.
I have a ton of examples, right? But I remember eggs used to be the worst thing in the world, right? You want to talk about doctors that can't get things right? In the 80s, eggs were bad to you. Don't eat them. In the 90s, just the egg whites. And now it's just the eggs,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
make up your mind. So, for example, high blood pressure, garlic powder.
Yeah.
Garlic powder helps lower your blood pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fat burners, you're a California guy. You know avocado is probably the top
Yeah.
10 fat burner on everybody's list, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Me, I'm a dark chocolate guy. That's my fat burner.
Ooh, nice.
Also cashews.
Mm-hmm.
That's my. So what I did was I took a year and I lost 65 pounds.
That's awesome, man.
And
That's really
yeah.
that's a hard thing to do, and I respect you for that, man.
Yeah. And you know the crazy thing is when you're young and you're built heavy, you can still jump and you can still do the regular things. So
Yeah,
I look
yeah.
like a really weird guy, like as big as I am. How's a guy that's that size moving so fast? But then all of a sudden it's your right Achilles, and all of a sudden you have tendonitis on your left
Yeah.
knee, and all of a sudden the shock from landing, your hitting shoulders
Yeah.
is messing with you. You're like, am I doing side? Am I doing this?
Yeah.
And you know the crazy thing is when I lost the weight, the first thing I did was play in the Pottstown Rumble, which I'm going this week.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's an awesome.
I'm
it's
going
an
this
awesome
weekend.
tournament.
So
It's a great
yeah, I
tournament.
just wanted to do the nutrition caveat.
Yeah, no, I think
just
it's
two
really
different
important.
examples. You provided one, I provided one, and guys, you got to take it or leave it. But I think the message we're trying to send is if you're eating something that just makes you feel bad,
Yeah.
don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Whatever works for you. Yeah.
Like you said, because the stress is gonna kill you from trying to eat
Yeah.
right or whatever. So
like-
you're defeating
yeah.
the purpose.
So it's like 10 seconds of bliss, and then you're like, you feel like a piece of crap after. So I've had people like that in my life where it's like, it's like, yeah, I think nutrition is everything. It's longevity. It's kind of ironic that I'm talking about this right now when I'm on tour and I don't eat the healthiest, but yeah, it's true. If you're a professional athlete, you gotta take care of your body. If you're just a person in general, you gotta take care of your body.
It's different. Traveling's tough, right? Because New York, you could drink water from the tap, from the faucet. You're good. I ain't doing that, dude. I ain't doing that here.
LA
No.
tap water.
Man, well, maybe I should, man. All you guys come out like super athletes. So,
Yeah.
as a joke, everybody's like, what's in the drinking water out there? I'm like, okay, wow.
The
since
beach,
you
man. It
asked.
keeps everyone in shade. That's what it is.
It really does.
And it's accessibility to all these courts too.
Do you know how cool it was going? The first college game I watched out here was UCLA against BYU, right? Now in New York, you're gonna find some guys that could jump. You know, like
Right.
like New York's an immigration population, so everyone has skill. Everyone has that Eastern European or Dominican, like that skill set that just they don't have to think about it. But like jumpers,
Yeah.
like you find one or two guys that could clear the net, the head or whatever. And then I'm watching UCLA and I'm watching these guys warm up. And every single player, little guys, big guys, shoulders above the net. And I'm just like,
Big
yo, my man, look at this place. Hagen Smith was on the team then. And,
Beast. I got the
you know,
beast.
probably the same size as you and me, right? And just skying. What would you say,
Yeah.
6'1", 6'2"? What would you say?
I say 6'3". Give me 6'3".
6'3". Let's give him that. Give him that.
Give
Give
him that.
Hagen that.
Yeah.
Big up to that dude, man.
Big jumper. Absolutely just ripped out of his mind. So yoked.
Yeah. Big up to him though, right? Chicago, good Final Four finish, right? Semi finish with Dietrich.
Michael was on that team too. It was
16 seed with Dietrich, beat the one, right?
Yeah.
Michael was that's right. Yeah, Michael was on that trip
Yeah.
with Muno, right, or something like that.
Yeah. He was on, and he was also in the Final Four too. They lost to Ohio State. He still talks about it. Well, he's over it, but I asked him about that game all the time. Not all the time, but somewhat.
Ohio State had that 2-year period where they just
Unstoppable.
didn't have an answer for them. And I mean, they must have been. They got the 3 seed and didn't get a bye. That second year they won, they were like, dude, we've been the 1 or 2 the whole year. And I'm like, damn, you just made that team angry, dude.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what seed, if the team that good, you can put them at 8. They're gonna win.
What was your most disappointing performance at Hawaii? What was the game where you're like,
I think my worst.
I mean, look, I'm going to shape it like this. You play so many matches and maybe you it's just a distant memory. Or maybe you're one of those guys where you're like, I still haven't shaken that one off.
I'll put it like this. There, into my sophomore and junior year, I was fortunate to have some pretty good years there at Hawaii. I used to have this platform. I don't know if you're listening to audio, you can't really see this, but I used to put my platform together like this. It needs to be uneven. You can see how uneven. The left is higher than the right. So then I was like, I want a flatter platform. So then I switched it to more like this right here.
I see it.
And then obviously it's more flat rather than here to here. You see uneven?
Yeah.
Here, more flat.
Yeah,
trying to get my elbows
one is more
together.
presentational.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I switched my platform, and that from within the summer. So doing that alone, insane. In terms of they would serve me, and I wouldn't even know how to put my hands because I was like, my mind wants to go the old way, but I wanted to, so it'd be a mess, and my angles weren't great, and my adjustments weren't great because it was so new to me. But I knew in the long run it would help me. So I would have games. I remember UCSD the second night. Literally, they would roll shot at me through my platform. Like, literally, not like, oh, Gage. No, literally. I probably missed 11 digs right at me that night. We still beat them in 3 or 4, but, like, I was so bad. I was, like, laughing to myself how, like, tragically bad I was. And I wouldn't be as consistent as my sophomore year because I do this new platform. But I was just having so many bad games in the first BYU night. Same thing. And I felt like I had no control over my game because I was learning something and I wasn't, like, and I was like, why am I not playing like the old me, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not doing this or this, but like, I was learning something new. Now, that's on me because I decided to switch it, but you got to trust the process. And it has especially this year, this has been like, it has made such a big difference in my game. And I'm so glad I did it. But boy, beginning of my junior year, a lot of my junior year, I don't know how I still got the accolades I did, but,
There's one you could leave behind, right?
yeah, that I was so bad.
Yeah.
Like, horrendously bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if the ball wasn't perfectly in there, I couldn't get the target. I couldn't adjust that well.
Yeah.
Or I'd shoot at him.
Oh my God, that wasn't the year I missed Irvine.
That was COVID. That was COVID year.
Oh, okay.
That was my junior year.
My boy Jo, close friend of mine, former All-American at Hawaii, and he's Bo's through and through. He's Bo's for life.
He talked to us.
Yeah.
He came to talk to us. I remember that.
Dude's Bo's for life, man. He was like, "How did Harvard? You gonna let Harvard in? But Hawaii can't get in." And I was like, "Dude, don't blame Harvard.
Yeah.
Harvard ain't in
Harvard
that.
catching strays
Like,
out
Harvard's
here.
not in their division, right? Don't blame Harvard. They ain't got nothing to do with that drama. Harvard.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Harvard beat Penn State, who was a 3 seed that year, and then beat Princeton, which is not notably a great team, but they're well coached. Sam Schweitze's he's a real one. That's the real deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Went to Hunter High School, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, he won a
shout out
PSA.
Sam Schweitze.
Yeah, he won. That's a smart kid school.
Yeah.
That school leads the nation in 2 very important categories: cumulative SAT scores and Ivy League application acceptance.
Yeah.
For 15 straight years. Yeah, and the reason why it's not ranked is because
Big boy school.
it's all 12 years. It's not listed on the high schools. So the only way to get in is through kindergarten and through 7th grade.
Got you.
The principal can't even get his kids in. It's kind of, I mean, that's nuts.
That's wild, man. That's wild.
Fun question. What in volleyball should be worth 2 points?
Naked serves.
Clean
I'm
serves?
just kidding. No, I said naked.
Naked serves.
Yeah. Strip all your clothes off, take a serve. No, I'm kidding. I meant that for the
Just
adults,
take
of course.
off the draws.
Yeah.
And then put the shorts on with no draws, and then see how that happens.
I think, okay, how about this? How if someone rips it and you dig it and it hits you and it goes over on their side and gets a kill, 2 points. I guess it's a libero speaking here.
Nice. I actually like clean block. It just makes people cover.
Oh.
It just makes people cover.
That's
like
true.
a
That's a
clean
good
block.
point.
I think that should be 2 points.
I think people don't cover enough. I think
Yeah.
it's libero, especially liberos don't cover enough. In my mindset, I'm like, I got to give my hitters as many opportunities as possible. And I pride myself in being a very, very good cover.
Yeah.
People need to be better at that. They need to they need to dig in and cover, man. If you're libero out there, if you're anything, dig in, cover. Also, don't trust your setters to cover. Understandably, this is a little trick here I learned.
Look at my eye, dude. That's shit.
You okay?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone farted on my pillow.
Yeah. Or it comes through eye comes through stress too, though.
It does.
My girlfriend has one
Got a
too.
lot coming up. That's probably
That's probably it. That's probably it.
So fun story about the whole naked thing. I had a friend that indoor player, right? And he brought gym shorts instead of like board shorts and didn't have like drawers under it. So he goes to block and hits the net, right? And the ref calls net. He's like, "Go ahead, say it. What did I hit it with?"
Yeah, that's smart.
He says, "What part of what did I hit the net with?" It was just hilarious moment. What did I hit the net with? It's like, yo, my man, chill.
Too funny, man. Too funny. Way to press him though.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite venues when you were touring? What was one of the places you're like, there's so many.
In terms of cities or in terms of tournaments or clinics, camps? How would you put it?
Well, let's go through the progression. Let's start with tournaments.
Tournaments, the best tournament is Wapaka.
Yeah.
Wapaka, and then for me, I know I'm biased, but the luau in Hawaii.
Yeah, come on.
There's just we host it, and there's the mountains in the back. You're out there. The vibes are immaculate. It's a different vibe. I can't just like than any other grass room I've ever played in. And not because we're hosting, because I don't like when we're playing, we don't like touch any of that, but like just the vibe. Camp Clinic, God, I can't answer. I literally can't answer that. There's been amazing ones, amazing.
Yeah. Have you been in New Orleans?
That's one we
Is
have
that one
not.
of your stops?
We have
You
not.
got to do that and stay for 3 days because it's so much talent there. You can do 3 stops in the state of Louisiana. You know, Kenner, which is where Evan Corey's from.
Oh,
Kenner,
yeah.
Louisiana. And that my first color commentary gig, my first center court gig was the finals. It was Corey and Weber against Rafa Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And Piotr Marciniak. Night lights. So it's very much like Hawaii. I could draw. It's so easy to draw the picture because Hawaii, when you have a hot day, you have a warm night. So it's not like Hermosa Beach where when the sun goes down, it's freaking, brick where you gotta wear something. So like Hawaii, like it's so picture warm night lights, restaurant by center court.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll actually pull it up on YouTube or whatever, and I'll get some of these fan questions going through as I continue to look for it. Yeah, so venues, we were talking about cities. Talk to me about cities.
Dude, Fayetteville, Arkansas was sick. Shocker. Orlando, Florida, we just got Universal Studios. Knoxville, Tennessee is something that me, my brother, it's my girlfriend really, really like. We could see ourselves living there, honestly. Knoxville, Tennessee, and having our system out of there. We've talked about that. We love it there. But yeah, those are like 3 unbelievable cities that we've been through. In terms of like where the tour is taking us. And like we have an official stop at.
All right, so here's a shot. Where is it?
Oh, right there.
Going here. We could watch it on this. We could watch it on the big screen if you want.
Look at Jason over here.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I don't mean to show off, but this is my professional work. This is where I'm less annoying, where I just do my job. But I want to show you guys the court. So this is the sun. The sun is setting, right? Now you got this beautiful. Look at the beautiful sky in the back. It's not night yet, so you're gonna see the sky a little bit. It's just gray enough and just whatever.
Evan Corey, Logan Weber, yeah.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna scroll ahead. Now that it's dark, right?
Oh, you like see at the restaurant right there.
Yes, you have. Actually, can I go back to that? Shit, that was such a great shot. Maybe this will do it.
Oh, show up again, no?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the restaurant, right? This is such a beautiful setting, right? And most of the bleachers, the fans, there's a huge set of bleachers on the other side where the camera's not showing. Nice. So that's what New Orleans looks like.
It's the final? Oh, yeah, it's the final.
This is the final, yeah. It was like a next, and Corey and Weber had to beat John Ferrari and Andrew Dentler on the semis. But Troy Field was there playing with Eric Baranek. TKN, Kristen Nuss, and Terrence Booth. Huh?
Who did they lose to?
Oh, Rodriguez and Marciniak. Rafa's a streaky server, man. When he's got that short toss and that serve to space. If you're not there, if you're not there facing your angle, you don't get that one move. It's just gone. He won San Francisco with Ed Ratledge just on the jump serve alone, dude. So, but Marciniak was running on one leg.
San Francisco, that they haven't done that in a while, huh?
Yeah, that was the last one. Actually, the last champion was in fact Rafa Rodriguez and Ratledge. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And this is a home game for him, so Evan is playing his energy. He's playing like this is his first match, dude.
Yeah, I saw that. I remember that tournament and just following them.
So Brian McDermott, who's the head coach of Progression Beach Volleyball, indoor beach facility in Chicago, posted Cramp Fest that tourney. 80 teams in 2 days, if I recall correctly, and Peter cramped out. And the women's final was a forfeit. I remember that.
Wow.
The Brazilians,
the
Mastrinis, were supposed to play TKN, and TKN won via forfeit. Both players, both
humidity
wives,
got him over there.
Yeah, both wives cramped up. Yep, I remember that. And
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, that's another city you should visit. He has an indoor facility called Progression Beach Volleyball. It's in Chicago, so
check it out.
He coaches, all four seasons.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we're just gonna do the lightning round and we're gonna get out of here. Lightning round is 60 seconds of just knee-jerk questions. This is already shot, but this ain't gonna stay up anywhere. This is just for people that have questions for you.
Come through.
Yeah. So let's do swipe.
A lightning round it.
Yeah.
Ooh, got the 1 minute timer. I like that.
Yeah. Let's chrome it. Oh, good, it's there. All right. So for those of you that got a chopped screen, we're only going to be here for a couple of minutes anyway, and this video is not going to stay up. But, sorry. Let's start it. Ready? All right. So, favorite comedian?
Shane Gillis.
Last good book you read?
Where the Red Fern Grows.
Nice. Last good movie you watched?
War of the Planet of the Apes. Well, I saw it. I rewatched it a bunch of times.
Coaching or podcasting?
Coaching.
Nice. Marvel or DC?
DC, but Marvel had better movies, but Marvel's now is down the trash, but DC's on the rise.
It's true. Pool or beach? Obvious one.
Pool or beach?
Yeah.
Beach.
Ice cream or cupcakes?
Ice cream, vanilla, rainbow sprinkles only.
Nice. Lord of the Rings or Harry
Lord of
Potter?
the Rings.
There you go. Or
Greatest
Harry Potter.
greatest trilogy of all time. Greatest movies of all time.
Bourbon, vodka, or tequila?
I don't drink.
Oh, cool.
Shirley Temples.
I'll carry that for us. I'm vodka. I'm a Brooklyn guy. Favorite sport outside of volleyball?
Basketball.
Mine's MMA. Favorite action film star growing up?
I would say Viggo Mortensen, but I mean it's easy to go with
so
Mission
good,
Impossible.
man.
It's easy to go Tom Cruise though too.
Remember History of Violence? Do you ever see History of Violence?
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen?
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah. Next level.
What can you say, dude? History of Violence was good. Eastern Promises.
I haven't seen that one.
That was... Yeah, that's not for everybody.
Oh, I could say Hugh Jackman too. Hugh Jackman's in
Yeah.
there too.
Eastern Promises, not for everybody, but for you.
Yeah.
I think you could take it.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings, right? G.I. Jane,
Yep. Yeah.
right? I never saw a wild thing sorry for itself. A bird can fall frozen from the bough without ever once having felt sorry for itself.
Oh, you're good with quotes.
Yeah, theater.
That's
that?
I see
That
that.
thing
I see that.
behind me.
Yeah. You're
Those
right.
are my three proudest moments. Graduating college because my family's not a college family.
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
only
Congrats,
my
man.
mom was the first and only one to have a degree.
Oh, sick,
We're all
man.
military men, so.
Yeah.
That's 17 years while Cornell cardiology practice.
That's awesome.
And that's what the Army.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
so
That's
listen.
awesome.
Anybody want to know more? We should go to Norseca's, man. They're having Norseca's right now.
I
John
have
Schwengel
breakfast right
said
now, then I'll be over there.
Actually, John Schwengel said if I FaceTime him and he sees us, he's gonna show us the court. So let's do that.
Do it. Yeah. Let me know what court they're on because I gotta go get breakfast.
Yeah. So while I'm doing this, tell people where they can find.
Yeah.
I guess you.
If you just type in Out of System and see a pineapple logo on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, that's us, Out of System Official for TikTok and Instagram. And then also, if you want to know where we're on tour or anything else about us, go to outofsystem.net. Has our schedule, has our socials, has pretty much our merch as well. Anything that we're about is on that outofsystem.net. But yeah, we're still on the road. If you want to join us on one of tour events, again, hit outofsystem.net and go to the 2024 tour, and then
I'm definitely
we're
gonna
gonna be.
put up some of that stuff on the edit.
Much love. Thank you, Jason.
John Schwengel. It's like
Are you gonna
the
be
group
down
out there is so young.
Yeah. Good.
The group
good
out there
crew
is
down there.
so young. What's this AI? I didn't ask for no meta AI. I'm just I get it. Searching John Schwengel. Forget it. We'll do it.
I don't know John Schwengel,
Yeah.
but you let me know what
He
court
played with Brewster.
Yeah, I know.
Seattle.
I know of
he's,
him.
He's also, by the way, the only player. Him and Devin Berkey, who I believe was a former Gaucho. They're the only team that survived the 2-day qualifier. Remember, they had a 2-day qualifier in Manhattan Beach one year in Chicago, or whatever. It was Wednesday and Thursday. They're the only team that actually survived both days and made the draw. So you know what? That's a good mic drop moment. So guys, listen up. My guy Gage might like you, but I don't like any of you guys. In fact, I'm out of here, all right? So for all of you at home, for all of you on your desktop, for all of you on your iPhones or iPads on the lunch line, for me, it's a desktop because who runs the world? Old school, baby. Old school for Gage Worsley.
Sir.
I am Jason DeBillius. We're going to hit up my music, but not now. Episode 108 of the Option Podcast. We're out.
Peace.
Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.